Sean is in Wichita, Kansas. Hey, Sean, how are you?
I'm good, Dave. Thanks for having me.
Sure, man. What's up?
So, I'm the business manager, one of the owners of a family business. We do industrial construction. Currently, we have about 75 employees. The business is made up of my parents and then me and obviously two of my brothers. We've been in business about 25 years. This year we're doing about 11 million, which is down from last year, which was about 16. And I tell you that just because of an issue that we're having with my youngest brother. It's been going on for quite a while. Just kind of a lack of effort, lack of determination. Several times we set him down and...
Who's we?
Told him that he's got to do better. It does for a little while.
Who is we?
Usually it's my dad and just my older brother and myself set him down.
Mm-hmm. Okay, he's got it. So if you had another team member that was doing the exact same thing, and you would sit down with them, right?
Correct.
And you would say, effort's got to come up, competency has to come up, or whatever, right?
Correct.
And how can we help you do that? I mean, you're kind of like describing somebody that's lazy, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. So, give me an example of a time that effort is not coming forth.
Well, I would say, over the last probably 8 years, he's been the project manager of a large maintenance contract we've had. And we just lost that contract in November. And we know just from feedback that we received because of, not getting with the clients, not managing the jobs, ensuring that we're doing everything to keep the customer happy and, not try and gouge them on the work that we're doing, just managing it better. So we know that was one of the reasons. So
there's no one, okay, do you have another contract like that with someone else inside the building, another project manager?
Yes.
I mean, you don't watch them to see that customer's being kept happy over a period of years?
Absolutely we do.
So you were watching your little brother destroy this customer?
Well, we have, and like I said, we've set him down several times.
No. Stop a minute. This is on you.
Okay.
Okay? If I'm the leader and I have a team member that is supposed to be managing a project and we suspect that the project's not being managed well, we get really involved to make sure that the customer stays happy, and we either take the team member off of it or we get them up to snuff. So you guys just stood back and watched him crash the car.
Well, to an extent, yes.
Was he course corrected during the time he was screwing up this account?
Yes, several times.
And then he continued to cause the account to be lost with his lack of effort.
Well, it would get better for a while. And
he lost an account that was millions of dollars.
Yeah.
It did not get better.
Well, it definitely didn't get better when we lost it, that's for sure. Yes.
Okay. Okay, so here's the thing. One of the things I've had to learn inside Ramsey that's been very difficult for me and by extension for my leaders, we learned the lesson 20 some odd years ago. But for about 10 years, and we were your size when we were learning the lesson, the size of your organization, was that we thought by not addressing things early and often, that by doing conflict early and often with team members that were not getting their work done for whatever reason, that somehow we were being kind or we were delegating or we were something, and we were way too hands off. And so nowadays we're the other direction. We're the opposite of conflict averse. We embrace conflict like it's a dadgum gift because we don't want anyone around here to have any illusion that lack of service to a customer is okay, have any illusion that lack of effort is okay or lack of competency is okay. And so we talk to you early and often if you work here and you're not getting the job done. It feels like that y'all have been a little bit hands off like I used to be.
I would agree, and I think because he was an owner, he was given too much leeway. You know, we wouldn't.
That's a
have allowed
separate
that
issue.
with somebody else.
Are you sure your other non-owner team members are being held accountable closely enough?
I would say yes. Yes.
Okay. All right. Then you're not guilty of what I was when I was your size. Okay. I'll take your word for it. All right. So I think then you guys have to decide if you're going to let him be in the organization because it's a cancer.
Well, and
it's a cancer.
That's kind of where we're at.
Okay.
When we lost that contract, you know, we had to move him out of that facility, and you know, we didn't have a lot for him to really take over because of the other managers that we have.
And your dad has given the 3 sons ownership position.
Correct.
Right? So what
Correct.
percentage of the business do you each of you 3 sons own?
My youngest brother has 20. I have a 22, and then my older brother has 27.
And that was determined by age or?
To an extent, yes. Part of the reason I'm kind of in the middle is because I haven't been with the company since it began. And
okay, but this is 77%, so your dad has 33.
Well, that's split between my mom and him, but yeah, it's like 19 and 14.
Well, they're married, so yeah, okay.
Yeah, right, right.
Yeah, so at some point, the 2 remaining brothers will buy out Dad, and how are we going to get Junior to go on to his next career?
Well, and that's kind of where about 2 weeks ago, I had enough, and I set him down, brought my older brother in, and basically told him he has 2 options. Either we buy you out because we know you're not happy and it has affected us, or, you know, we have strict, clear goals and requirements that have to be met for you to continue with us. And those would be laid out for you by the end, and we would evaluate it by the end of the year. So my concern is that he's not going to meet those. And so how do we buy him out?
What does your partnership agreement say about buying somebody out that is incompetent?
Well, it's very explicit. I mean, we have a buy-sell agreement.
Okay, so what does it cost to buy him out?
Well, we have valuations done, but the last valuation was quite a bit less. But it does say that we can basically offer whatever we want.
That's weird.
So
you
we
can offer him $1.
We could. Doesn't mean he has to take it.
Yeah, but what if you can't force him out. Is that what you're saying?
Well, no, we can. We can go to him and structure it. We're gonna pay you this much per share, and we're gonna structure it over 5 years. We can do that however we want. Now, he can say no, and he could get a lawyer at that point.
Well, but the partnership agreement dictates that you can do that.
Correct, it does.
Well, you can get a lawyer about anything. That's not the issue. But
but the only thing he could do with the lawyer is our last valuation says, you know, each share was worth this much. Well, that was from 3 years ago. So, you know, you can justify that. 3 years ago, you know, we were making $18 million more than we are now. So it's definitely not worth as much.
So you're paying him a premium to get rid of him if you use the formula in the partnership agreement?
Correct.
Okay. So what's the 20% worth?
You know, we kind of talked about that. I think realistically, it's worth about $40,000 per share.
And he owns 20 shares?
Correct.
Okay. There's 1 share percentage. Okay. And you guys have the cash?
We do.
Okay. And you have the ability to do that over 5 years according to the partnership agreement?
Yes. Yeah, we could dictate, or we could structure that how we want. And to me, but that's what I want to do is, a larger upfront first year and then spread the rest out over the remaining 4 years.
I would rather just pay him one lump sum and be done, and have him sign a separation agreement that he's okay with that.
Okay.
I want this over
with. Well, and then
Thanksgiving dinner is going to be awkward enough.
Well, that's the concern. A big concern too.
Yeah, it's going to be awkward enough. But so I think now the whole family sits down with him and says, if he wants, it says, okay, look, here's what we can do as a buyout. We're really, 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 we love you as our brother. We can't stand you as an employee. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Here's the amount that you can take and leave now. If you want to try to work a get out of jail program between now and the end of the year, here's what it's going to take. And honestly, I don't think you can do it. And at the end of that time, then you're going to go ahead and sign a document now that says you're going to take this much money. You can take it now and leave, or you can try this, and at the end of the year, we'll give you this much money. If you can't do it,
okay.
Maybe you can turn it around. Maybe you can grow a brain between now and then. But I don't think you can. I think you're done. I don't think you want to be here. The customers are mad at you. The employees are mad at you. This is not good. And so, have an emotional firing, we call it at Ramsey. And if you want to work a 90-day plan, at the end of that 90 days, here's what you're going to get, or you can sign now, and we'll give you that right now. And either way, you're going to sign at the end of this. And you're going to sign a document today that says, I'm going to work a 90-day plan, and if leadership does not think I'm competent at the end of that 90 days, then I am agreeing to accept this amount and accept their judgment. Or you can just walk out now with this much money, whatever you want to do. A clean break. So Henry Cloud teaches a thing, and we've used it at Ramsey for many, many years. We call it hats. And when we're at work, I am not Dad. I'm Dave, and I wear a hat that says CEO on it. My daughter, Rachel Cruz, works here. She is one of the Ramsey personalities. The hat she wears says personality on it. Okay? She is an owner of the company, but the owners of the company do not have positions based on ownership. They have positions based on what they do here. My oldest daughter does not work here. She runs our family foundation. She has an office in the building, but she's not an employee of this place. And she's an owner. But she's not an employee of Ramsey. So she has an owner's position, but not a position of an employee position. I'm an employee and an owner. I'm the CEO. That's my job title, okay? And I'm an owner. Rachel's the Ramsey personality, and she's an owner. You follow the difference? Okay? So your brother's ownership is a separate issue from his employment. And yet you need to clean up both at the same time as he leaves. And it's also a separate issue from him being your brother. I have family members that I love dearly. They vote wrong, but I still love them. Okay? I don't agree with them about everything, but I love them. I would not employ them, but I love them. There's a difference. So you can still love your brother. You can still have good relations with your brother if you guys handle this right, and if he's mature enough to walk through this process. That'll be his choice. You don't get to choose that for him. But you need to separate your brotherhood and your dad's fatherhood from his employment and from his ownership. They are three different things. We're cleaning up two of them by removing him, the ownership position and the employment position. As a matter of fact, in your case, he's losing his ownership position because he's losing his employment.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
And yes, it does. And I'm sure I know what you're going to say, because one of the other things we discussed, not with him, is him not being an employee, retaining his ownership. But
that's possible. But then he gets 20% of the profits that are distributed to the owners.
Right.
Now, you should get paid for the job that you do at the company, Sean. Your dad gets paid for the job he does at the company, and then there are profits after those salaries.
Right.
Rachel gets paid as a Ramsey personality, like John Deloney does or Ken Coleman does, okay? And then there are profits at our company, and she shares as an owner in the profits. But those are two separate checks.
Right.
One is an ownership check that you're not required to be here to get, and one is a personality check that you have to be a personality to get that check. Does that make sense?
Well, and yes, and that's something, the way we discussed going around that is, rather than doing payouts from the profits out of retained earnings, we would give a bonus to the actual employees that are still working here that are owners. Then you're not offering profit disbursements.
Well, you can monkey the books where there is no profit.
Right.
You guys can take bonuses, but that's unethical. If there's real profit, it should be shared on the percentage basis after everyone's been paid for doing their real job, not overpaid.
Okay.
So I'm not trying to cheat your brother. Somebody gave him 20% at some point. And that's going to cost you.
Okay.
So either you're going to give him 20% of the profits after everyone's been paid for doing their job, or you're going to buy him out on your formula. Either one of those is ethical. Honestly, I think he needs to be bought out and go on his way. That's what it sounds like. I think that's a lot cleaner. Being tethered back, you all are going to resent paying him 1/5 of the profits on a business you grow with him gone and him having lost a major account. That's going to get weird for y'all. So I really, really wouldn't go there. Hey, man, thanks for the call. Thanks for letting me walk through that with you. It's a very hard thing and a very difficult thing. But sometimes if you'll just keep the family position separate from the employment position, separate from the ownership position, it helps you with good critical thinking skills on how to process this whole thing. This is the EntreLeadership Podcast.